The armed forces of Ukraine have successfully stopped Russia's advances on the Pokrovsk direction. As a statement was made by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Syrskyi. In the meantime, White House advised Vladimir Putin not to interfere in the U.S. presidential election and not to comment on this statement, on this election. Also, the U.S. Department of Justice announced measures against Russian propagandists who try to interfere in the U.S. election process. And the questions for today are, what is the current situation on the ground in the Pokrovsk region? How did the Ukrainian army manage to stop Russia's offensive in the Pokrovsk direction? And why did Vladimir Putin and how did Putin interfere in the U.S. general election? Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Syrskyi, said that Ukrainian army has successfully stopped Russia's offensive in the Ukraine on the Pokrovsk direction. Russia has been pressing towards the city of Pokrovsk for many months. However, Russia failed to capture the city, and General Syrskyi said that Ukrainian forces had successfully stopped Russia's offensive. According to the Ukrainian top general, Russia did not gain any kind of advance. Russia did not advance for any meter or for any kilometer past of the in the period of the last 6 days. This statement was made by our top general, and according to General Syrskyi, this achievement has been reached, and Ukraine has successfully stopped Russia's offensive because Ukrainian army had previously started its own offensive in the Kursk region. According to the General Syrskyi, the number of artillery fire also decreased, and Syrskyi said that Russia had transferred from the territory in Ukraine to the Kursk region many thousand of Russia's elite units and the most experienced units, and this allowed Ukraine to stop this offensive on the Pokrovsk direction because Russia could not move more reserves to the Pokrovsk direction, to the east of Ukraine. Also, according to the Commander-in-Chief of the Ukraine, operation of the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region is currently successful, and Syrskyi also outlines the key objectives of this Ukrainian offensive operation inside Russia is to prevent Russia from using Kursk for a new offensive. Syrskyi said that Russia had been preparing an offensive operation towards the Ukrainian city of Sumy. However, Ukraine's offensive to the Kursk region has successfully prevented this offensive from the Russian side. Also, this operation aimed to divert Russia's troops from the battlefields in Ukraine to the Kursk region, and also to create a buffer zone, a secure zone in the Kursk region to prevent Russia from shelling Ukrainian territory, from bombing Ukraine from the Kursk region. Also, this operation aimed to improve the morale of the Ukrainian army and also to get more prisoners of war and to exchange Russia's conscripts, Russia's prisoners, to the Ukrainian armed forces, prisoners of war who are in the captivity in the Russian Federation. In the meantime, the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that Ukraine's offensive deep inside Russia has already achieved a lot. Also, according to Stoltenberg, only Ukraine can choose the way it wants to fight this war and the way how it wants to deploy its troops and where it wants to deploy these troops, reserves on the ground. Also, NATO Secretary supports Ukraine's deep strikes inside Russia. However, Biden administration does not support these actions. There was a new statement also on the Pentagon. Sabrina Singh said that the United States still does not allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia because The United States Army does not have enough ATACMS missiles to provide Ukraine, and also there are other concerns about the possible escalation in this matter. Also, there has been one statement from the US official. He told the Wall Street Journal that Ukraine do not have enough targets on the Russian soil which could be destroyed, because Russia has redeployed its units far away, deep inside Russia. However, US Institute for Study of War reported that it wasn't true information. There are hundreds of targets near the Ukraine which could be destroyed by Ukrainian strikes deep inside the Russian territory. However, the United States still does not allow Ukraine to do so, and does not allow Ukraine to conduct this self-defense strike and to destroy Russian targets, Russian airfields, which are used by the Russian side to bomb Ukrainian civilians, to bomb people in Ukraine and to kill innocent civilians here. Also, there is Reuters reported that there is a big congressional debate because the United States has not successfully used $6 billion in aid. As you know, previously, yes, Congress has passed this big aid package for Ukraine for more than $60 billion. However, Biden administration failed to use the last $6 billion, and it would be not possible for the White House to use this money after the 30th of September, because it would be the end of the US fiscal year. However, Biden administration has failed to use this money, and now there is a big debate in Congress on how to make it possible to use this $6 billion to help Ukraine to fight this war and to fund Ukraine's war effort, despite the fact that the US administration has failed to use this money until the deadline. At the same time, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin said that he would support Kamala Harris as the US presidential candidate. It is interesting to hear such statement from Vladimir Putin, because he does not have a right to vote on the US presidential election, and also he said that he would not support Trump because Trump had previously sanctioned Russia, and he said that Kamala Harris could not, he hopes that Harris would not sanction Russia. However, it's interesting to hear such statements from Vladimir Putin, because it could be a diversion from other areas of his expertise. It could be a diversion from the war in Ukraine. He could try to divert US attention from the war in Ukraine and divert this attention, and also try to manipulate the US public opinion and the opinion of the US officials. Also, there has been a big reaction from the White House. White House's John Kirby said that advised Putin do not to comment on this issue and do not to interfere in the US general election. Also, the United States Department of State and US Department of Justice have announced new measures because Russia has been trying to interfere in the US presidential election through the Russian propagandists and fake Twitter accounts and other propaganda channels on the social networks, and they will continue their work to prevent Russia from interfering in the US presidential election. That's all for today. Stay with us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and glory to Ukraine!